Student fees may go up yet again next year. It depends on your vote. Find out what the extra fees are for.
Is your favorite restaurant as clean as you think? Now you can check it out before you order.
Most of us don't get enough sleep. We'll tell you how to make the most of the time you do spend sleeping.
You don't have to be a follower of Aggie sports to know that Utah State lost to BYU, but we have highlights from the game, and Gary Anderson explains what it takes to come back from a loss like this.
Rain, sun, snow, what's in your forecast? It's all coming up right now on ATV News.
Hello Aggies and welcome to ATV News. I'm Bailey McMurdy.
And I'm Britta Anderson.
Utah State's chapter of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity was suspended last Friday after a violation of the school's alcohol policy. A 17-year-old female student was taken from the house to Logan Regional Hospital due to alcohol poisoning on September 25th. Pike chapter president Christopher Walth said in a press release he believes the suspension is a denial of the fraternity's due process rights. The university suspended the fraternity indefinitely, and the violation is still under investigation. In the meantime, students are still allowed to live in the house since it is not owned by USU.
USU student parking along US 89 is now banned. Students have been parking along the busy highway since the beginning of the semester. USU police placed temporary no parking signs along the street, but students have kept parking there. The issue got the attention of police after they received reports of people running across the busy street to get to campus. Police consulted with UDOT about the issue, and UDOT spokesperson Vic Saunders says they are preparing permanent no parking signs, which will be placed along US 89 as soon as they are ready.
What goes into the food you eat? Now you can find out. Twice a year, the Bear River Health Department inspects almost every food establishment in the area. And now they are putting the results of those inspections online for the general public to view more easily. All you have to do is go to www.brhd.org and follow the links. You can then type in the name of the restaurant that you want to eat at and see how they did on their last inspection. The report tells you exactly what violations they had, as well as whether those violations were classified as critical or non-critical. Although some restaurants may be nervous about having this information out for the public to see, others feel that it is a good thing. Sabur Sahili, owner of Angie's, explains that he thinks this will be positive action for both the public as well for his business.
Food safety is of paramount importance to any restaurant. I've been in business for almost 33 years operating restaurants, and I think it is very, very important that the results of the food inspection is transparent. The public has every bit of right to know exactly what the restaurants are doing.
I know I'll definitely be checking the website out next time I go out to eat.
Yeah, definitely. You need to know what goes into the food that you are eating. ASUSU has proposed to lay artificial turf on USU's Hyperfield.
A few years ago, former ASUSU President Tyler Tolson had a vision of building a recreation center to revamp USU's recreation and student experience.
This turf project is part of the larger concept of developing recreation activities, facilities for students at Utah State. So the turf project is just one part of a larger project that includes a new Aggie Recreation and Community Center.
Currently, there is a project on the Hyperfield to build a water storage tank which will be finished in December.
If students support this project, then that will be covered up with the new artificial turf, and you won't even know that the tank is below there.
ASUSU has already looked into the different types of turf on the market to find the best option for USU's Hyperfield.
And we're researching to find out how much everything is going to cost. And once we get all of that nailed down, then we'll take it to the students and ask them if this is something that they want to do.
Voting on a project will most likely happen during the spring 2012 general elections.
The benefit of turf over grass is it saves a lot of money in the long run. And with the turf field, Along with this project, there's going to be lighting to light those fields at night. So it'll extend playing time for campus recs a lot more, especially more playing time in the winter. So as a turf field, unlike natural grass, you can plow the snow off of the top of the turf field.
Students, however, have mixed viewpoints regarding the proposal.
I'm actually against it.
I think the turf on the hyperfield is a good idea.
We took how much the proposed cost was and divided it by how many students there were at the university, and it was going to come out to like $100 a person.
Right now they're using the quad as a soccer field when it's usually not supposed to be for recreational purposes.
Morales advises students to consider the importance of maintaining the vibrant community that USU is known for. Nadia Johari, ATV News.
If the increase in student fees passes in elections, the artificial turf will be for students' use instead of athletes.
Stick around. When we come back, we'll show you what USU students did for entertainment around campus last week. Last Friday, USU students had the chance to sample goods from around the world without leaving the comfort of campus.
The annual Global Picnic was held last Friday on the TSC patio. Utah State students were given the opportunity to taste foods from around the world right here on campus. Diversity Vice President Brooke Evans said in past years the event featured local businesses, but this year she enlisted the help of all the student clubs during the event.
In the past it's been like vendors of international food, but I decided this year that it would be much better for us to give our clubs an opportunity to fundraise.
The picnic allowed student clubs to display homemade goods from their countries. There was a wide range of items to choose from.
I haven't had a chance to eat yet, but I stole a piece of some fry bread with honey and powdered sugar, and that was really good.
It's an opportunity for the people on campus to know the different clubs that are selling food.
From the Dominican Student Association's empanadas to the watches being sold by the Japanese Student Association, there was something for everyone. A wide variety of local performers entertained students at the event.
I'm a big fan of international food in general, so I'm excited to try all of it when I get a chance.
Meredith Kinney, ATV News.
That fry bread sounded so good.
Yeah, I love diverse foods. I think it's fantastic that they would hold an event like that. Congressman Rob Bishop spoke to students on government and specifically federalism last Thursday at Pizza and Politics held by the college Republicans.
In 1962, we spent for the first time $100 billion. This next year, we are scheduled to spend $3.5 trillion.
Representative Rob Bishop explained to students his view on the growing national debt.
What I do think is a solution is to add to a balanced budget amendment the simple concepts of federalism. What we are missing now is that concept of federalism, which is the balance between the national government and the states. I firmly understand that one of the problems we have is that states are as much to blame as the federal government for this imbalance of federalism.
His ideas are always really close to home to me. The idea of federalism, locally made decisions is always really important.
Federalism is not only a structure of power to preserve civil liberties, federalism is also the right to be wrong without bringing the entire country down with it.
He, as a former history teacher, understands and puts today's issues in perspective. So he's able to take historical examples and use them to help us in the future.
Federalism means truly that Washington has to lose power. I believe federalism is the solution to our problems in Washington, and it is the salvation of this country.
As long as we have people back there like Congressman Bishop who are proposing these ideas, who are passionate about it, I think we'll just go uphill from here.
If there's ever a time to get involved, this is it.
Melissa Pearl-Youngberg, ATV News.
The College Republicans' hope is to bring other conservative voices to the USU campus and to encourage students to get involved and vote.
Students can now enjoy free quadside music as they study.
The Quadside Cafe has teamed up with Aggie Radio to give Thursday evening performances by local bands. Jessica Black has more on the story.
Students enjoyed music by a Sometimes Army who played as part of the Quadside concert series this last Thursday.
I think that it's important for us as a student-run radio station to actually get out to the students, and while it doesn't really have to do anything with the radio, it's still live music and an opportunity for us to spread our names as a club and for the bands and the students to kind of commingle and hang out. I thought that it was a good atmosphere because I think that, because of the interaction between the library and Quadside Cafe, there is a lot of circulation of students. But I talked to Amber, who's the manager of Quadside, and she was really, really cool about it, and she offers the bands a gift card when they play and drinks while they play, and it's just kind of cool to have a place here on campus that doesn't take a lot of work or fight to have to do anything with them, and they just are cool.
I wish we would have had to squish in then, and then
I wish there was crazy groupies that were just fawning over us.
I wish we had a Gary's fan squad in Pokemon type thing.
Oh yeah, cheerleaders right behind him all the time.
A convertible full of cheerleaders.
Like a posse.
I'd be Brock, she'd be
posse.
Misty if we were an Ash, Brock, Misty.
Even though the band felt disappointed by the student turnout, they agreed that they would gladly play for the Quadside concert series again. Jessica Black, ATV News.
The Quadside concert series is looking for bands interested in performing at upcoming concerts.
For more information, go to radio.usu.edu or contact them at aggieradio@usu.edu. We'll be right back with your ATV weather right after this break.
Sun, rain, wind, we've got some good old-fashioned Logan weather coming at you this week. I'm Ryan Bayless with your Aggie TV weather report. Let's take a look outside of the current weather conditions. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of gloomy out there, so I don't know. Go to your dorm and watch a movie today. Don't go to class. Today we're going to have a high of 64, and we've got some late afternoon showers with a 60% chance of rain, plenty of wind gusts reaching up to 22 miles per hour. Overnight lows will drop into the low 40s at 43 degrees and a 70% chance of precipitation. Tomorrow, have your new iPhone 4S and Siri let you know that you're going to need a raincoat because we got a 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms. The high will only get up to 51 degrees. The overnight low will drop down into the low 30s. Friday, the showers are looking like they will continue with a 60% chance of rain and a high of only 50 degrees and a low of 35. Now for your Aggie Game Day forecast brought to you by The Herd. We'll finally get back up to the 60s with a high of 61 and a low of 35. Right as the game kicks off, it'll cool off a little bit, so wear a light jacket, and hopefully we can, we'll just try and get through the fourth quarter on that one. We've got an overnight low of 35 degrees. Sunday, things will be right around the average with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. It's shaping up to be a dismal, rainy week, but cheer up because we've got some perfect fall football weather ready for you this weekend. Make sure to check back next week for the most up-to-date weather available. We'll be right back with more ATV News.
If you know anything about Aggie athletes, you probably heard about the heartbreaking loss the guys on the football team had to the BYU Cougars last Friday. Of course, we didn't want to dwell on the painful past, but Aggies played hard to keep the boot in Utah State's possession. Bailey was on the sidelines and has the highlights from the game.
Lavelle Edwards Stadium filled to the brim with blue and white, and sometimes it was hard to tell the difference between BYU and Aggie fans, except the Utah State fans left their mark with the cheerleaders and Big Blue by their side. And you know what? Chucky Keaton was among the three biggest names to look for during the night, including Bobby Wagner and the big man himself, Robert Turbin. That kid is like a furnace, because he's always bringing the heat, taking his first 80-yard run to the end zone, scoring the first touchdown within the first 15 seconds of the game. This brought the field to the Aggies that they needed to take on the Cougars. And the Aggies played well on defense, which is where the guys can usually fall short against BYU's huge defensive line. But the Aggies held their ground and made stops when they needed to. And Chucky Keaton, his gameplay was impressive against the Cougars, executing short passes to get the first down when we need it the most, or finding holes to pass through when he couldn't get rid of the ball. Keaton kept a cool head when the defense pressured him, and it's because of his quick thinking and fast feet that we were able to pick up our second touchdown of the night. The last touchdown the Aggies had looked like it locked in the game, and it was brought in by, of course, Robert Turbin, who takes Keaton's smooth handoff and makes it through defense faster than you can say touchdown. But the game didn't end as smoothly as Robert Turbin's touchdowns.
I'm very proud of these kids. I think they get better every week. I truly believe that. I think their minds are right. Their minds will stay right. There's a lot of care in that locker room. There's a lot of belief in that locker room. There's a lot of life lessons that are being learned in that locker room. But I love being their coach, and I love being part of them. And this is as hard of a stretch as I've ever been through as a position coach, a player, whatever, head coach. Very difficult, but we are where we are. It is what it is, and we need to continue to move on and fight.
We got to take it one game at a time. Can't throw in the towel. I'm not throwing in the towel. I work to be the best every single day, and so do other guys, and I will not quit ever. I love the game of football. This is what I do. I will not let my teammates ever quit because like I said, it's a long season. They look to me as a leader. A leader got to keep his chin up.
Aggie Nation is definitely behind Turbin on this one. Even though the guys are struggling, true blue Aggie fans will stay behind the guys and continue to cheer them on. Turbin was named Student Athlete of the Week for the second time this season and even received an honorable mention for National Running Back of the Week by collegefootballperformance.com. The Aggies are now 1-3, hoping to get their second win this weekend against Wyoming. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. on Merrill Olson Field in Romney Stadium. In soccer last Friday, the women Aggies went to Oahu, Hawaii for the WAC opener. The Rainbow Wahine came into an early lead when Ashley Haruki got the ball past USU's senior goalkeeper Molly Merrill in the 45th minute. The Aggies were able to tie the score in at the 75th minute with freshman midfielder Lexi Morgan. Neither team could score a goal in the remaining 25 minutes of the game, sending the match into overtime, and no one was able to score in the first extra frame. At the 105th minute, UH's Rachel Domingo took a corner kick that Brittany Loom knocked into the goal for the game winner. Coming to a 2-1 in double overtime, the Aggies will host the WAC opener this Friday, October 7th at 3 p.m. against the New Mexico State. USU will then face Louisiana Tech on Sunday, October 9th.
There's 5 weeks left, but they're 5 crucial weeks. You know, our team has set our sights on making the NCAA tournament. And in order to do that, one, we have to qualify for the conference tournament, and then we have to have a good run in the conference tournament. So those are definitely our goals.
Obviously, team goals are first to win the WAC, get to the WAC tournament, and I think most importantly, get to the NCAAs. It's one thing we haven't done in our program's history, and it'd be great to add that to the records you've already broken as a team this year.
We wish the ladies the best of luck for the rest of the season. In volleyball, Utah State went up against Louisiana Tech, and New Mexico State last week against the Lady Texters. Senior All-American outsider hitter Liz McCarter had 20 kills and 13 digs for her 9th double-double of the season and 21st of her career, while freshman outsider hitter Rachel Orr had season highs with 14 kills and 23 digs for her first career double-double. USU hit .237 in the match, and LTU hit .047, bringing in the win 3-1. Utah State will continue on the road this week for a WAC match in Idaho this Friday, October 7th. In women's tennis, freshman Mackenzie Davis was Utah State's top individual at the Jack Taylor Classic, hosted by Boise State last weekend, as she ended singles play with a 1-1 record while going 2-1 in double actions as she and Kristina Vojkovic went 2-0 in the consolation bracket of the Blue Flight. Davis also played doubles with senior Brianna Rowland in Orange Flight doubles action. Senior Monica Abella and junior Sadie Wilkins captured an 8-3 win over Weber State's double duo of Carly Lloyd and Mandy Miller. Utah State women's tennis team will continue on to Las Vegas, Nevada on Tuesday, October 11th to compete in the ITA Regional. On the men's side of tennis, at the Weber State Open, freshman Marcus Fritz defeated Idaho State's Nate Gross in straight sets to win the Flight 2 singles championship title. After winning by default in the quarterfinals, Fritz defeated Weber State's Kyle Potenia in 3 sets to advance to the finals. The team will go to Salt Lake on the 13th to compete in the Utah Intercollegiate. That's our Aggie sports for this week. Join us after the break. Video games aren't the only source of entertainment in these days. Before then, people gathered together to play board games. And that's exactly what happened at Aggie Game Night. Randall Henry rolled on by to tell us more.
Whether it's rolling dice or moving game pieces, people from around campus gathered together for some friendly competition.
Yeah, we've got a really fun tonight. Got some product simulations. We got Camp for a dice game, and this is a fun game also. Real strategy and some backstabbing.
Yep. Card games were a popular choice, with many in the room sitting around the table shuffling their hands, waiting for their next turn. With a variety of games to choose from and different levels of skill and competitiveness, there was something for everyone in attendance. The only thing that was nowhere to be seen was a controller.
What you see before me is your typical gaming console system, the type most kids use for entertainment nowadays. But it wasn't always this way. Before video games became popular, the board game was still king of entertainment. And some people still prefer it that way.
We do role-playing, card games, board games, miniature games, any type of tabletop gaming. It's a non-electronic. Just anything people want to bring and try, we're open to.
Randall Henry.
It seems that even with all the other options available, students still enjoy sitting down for a bit of friendly competition.
If counting sheep at night isn't helping you fall asleep, rest assured, Kelsey Keller has some tips on what you can do to drift off at night.
Are you getting enough sleep at night? The majority of college students are not.
Typical amount of sleep, I would say go to bed around 1:30, wake up around 7:30.
On Monday, the Counseling and Psychological Services hosted a workshop titled Getting More Out of Your Sleep. The Counseling and Psychological Services would not allow me to film the workshop nor conduct interviews due to confidentiality reasons. However, the workshop gave many tips on how to get better rest at night. It is important to wind down in the evening by shutting off lights and eliminating background noise. Activities such as watching television will actually stimulate your brain, making it more difficult to fall asleep. So think about turning your electronics off.
A late night snack might also help you get better sleep, but make sure you're choosing the right snacks, such as bananas, turkey, or a glass of milk, all which contain a sleep-inducing amino acid known as tryptophan.
Also, avoid doing other things while in bed, such as homework or emailing. Save your bed for sleeping, so your mind and body will know it's time to rest when you go there.
If you're interested in finding out more about upcoming workshops, you can find more information at www.usu.edu/counseling.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints held their semi-annual general conference this past weekend. This 2-day conference included inspirational talks given by the leaders of the church, with music provided by the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. An announcement by the prophet, President Thomas S. Monson, that new temples will be built, including a second temple in the city of Provo. The messages provided by the leaders encouraged the saints to attend the temple, pray more frequently, trust in God, and to be an influence for good in their communities. Thanks for joining us with the ATV News. I'm Britta Anderson.
And I'm Bailey McMurdy. We'll leave you today with footage from outside. Have a great week, Aggies.